Hey there, let's do a little guided meditation together and clean up our thinking about all this crazy stuff that's going on in the world right now. See if everything that's going on is creating restrictions and limits for you, whether it's your ability to feel safe and secure, to feel in control of your life, to do what you want to do, and even have abundance and wealth right now. See if it looks like with everything that's going on, the world's working against you. And all these things that you're looking for, they're just not possible right now. See if that's true for you. Now, regardless of whatever the world is having, you get to have it your way. It's up to you. If you choose to buy in to the world, feed into it, especially by resisting it, you're buying into it. You're making it real for you. But if you get to a place where you're not bothered by anything that's going on, where you're imperturbable, where you're not wanting anything, then you're going to see a whole different picture. You're going to see a picture of abundance, of having, and that will be true for you. And you can prove it. All right, just follow along. First of all, just take a look at everything that's going on in the world and how it's impacting your life and your goals and dreams. And just thinking about it right now. Close your eyes and put your head down towards your stomach or chest. Remember, from the neck up, you're not going to be able to think yourself out of this problem. The more you think about it, think about it, think about it, you go around in mental circles and you never satisfy yourself. You're always left thinking. So we got to get out of the head. I know that thinking is very seductive. It's very addictive. It almost seems impossible sometimes to turn that mind off. But you could start right now. Just bring your attention to your stomach or chest. And when you're looking at everything that's going on in the world, just notice what you feel in your stomach or chest. See if there's a clenching, a contraction, a gripping feeling in your stomach or chest. Just thinking about everything that's going on. You see, you can't resolve anything from the neck up with your mind. The more you try to think yourself out of problems, you just inevitably end up creating more problems. And most of the time, you don't even think yourself out of the problem anyway. You just spin around. All right, so enough's enough of that. Just set your mind aside and go to that contraction. See, what that is your body letting you know that you're suppressing your feelings. And that's where you're creating your problems. And the world isn't doing it to you. You're doing that yourself. So wherever you feel that contraction, that gripping feeling, right there, you can let go of this whole problem, undo the whole thing. All you have to do is open up an imaginary window or door and let that energy go. Just open up a door right in front of that contraction and watch that energy that's in that grippingness. Just imagine that energy going out the door. Watch it leave. And more. And more. and more. And let that energy leave a little bit more. It's just energy passing through. Let it leave some more. And a little bit more. You see, you always have a choice. When you have feelings that you don't like when you're stressed out or you're in fear, and you try to hold those feelings down so they don't push you around, you're bottling them up. And you're holding them down in a way in which you're carrying them around with you wherever you go. So enough's enough. Let go of pushing down on it. Just open up that door and let that energy leave. Those feelings, those negative feelings, are just energy. Bring it up and let them leave some more. And some more. And some more. And some more. And let them leave some more. And some more. And even more. And maybe you're sitting on a lot of fear. There's a lot of bad news, not only with people getting sick and dying, but with people losing their jobs, with the economy falling apart. And if you haven't been affected already, it could inevitably come to you. And maybe you're worried not only for yourself, but for everybody else. And notice how that feels. Again, don't get caught up in your mind. Just keep your attention in your stomach or chest. And see, what that contraction is telling you is you're feeling bad about it. And not only are you feeling bad about it, but you're suppressing that bad feeling. You're fighting with it, which means that bad feeling isn't going anywhere. You're carrying around that bad feeling, and then that influences your thinking. Then everything you look at is all doom and gloom. It looks like there's no hope. So you could turn it around right now. Again, just open up. Wherever you feel that contraction, just bring your attention there. Open up that door and let that energy go. And let it go some more. And some more. And even more. And even more. And even more. And let that energy go even more. And even more. And even more. And just let it pass through. And who cares where it goes? You're just letting it go out into now, into this present moment, which is just empty space, into this realm of nothingness that's all around us. It's still, it's silent, it's just presence, and it's all around you right now. Hand all of this energy over to this stillness and presence that's in this moment now. Just hand it over to beingness. And let this energy just spill out into beingness even more. And even more. And even more. And even more. And how does that feel? Notice the difference? It's inevitable. When you let the energy go, you feel lighter. And now when you think about all these things that are going on in the world right now and how they impact you, see if you're as bothered as you were a few moments ago. Notice the difference? Instead of feeling as limited as you did a few moments ago, now you're feeling like there's like a possibility, or more of a sense of I can. And you feel lighter, not so bottled up and constricted. And see, right now, what this proves is it's not the world that's doing all of this to you, that's keeping you limited, that's creating problems for you. It's you. You see, you are suppressing your feelings and causing your own feelings of lack and limitation. And once you started to relieve that, to stop doing all of that suppression, then things start to shift. And you can see that picture changes in your mind. And this makes it more obvious about how the mind works. You see, it's just a creative instrument. Whatever you hold in mind is what you get. And if you let the world influence what you hold in mind, either getting in fear about what's going on, or resisting what's going on, maybe you're fighting with people, then that is getting you to focus on problems rather than solutions, rather than what it is that you want to achieve with your life, your goals. Instead of looking at your goals, you're looking at everything that's wrong. And because the mind is a creative instrument, that's what you get. And see, when you let go of suppressing your feelings, you're not as bothered by what's going on, and the whole thing changes. So you are in charge, regardless of what's going on in the world. You could have it your way. As long as you stop identifying with the problems in the world and start identifying with the real you. And you're starting to get a taste of that right now. You see, when you let go of suppressing, you let that energy go out the door, that lighter feeling is the real you, the unlimited you. And that has answers for everything. That part of you is connected with the intelligence of the universe. That part of you is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent, everywhere and everything. And when you're identifying with that, no matter what's going on, you are in the home of abundance. And it's your choice. And it's a very direct experience. You're never going to get it through your mind. Your mind is a very limited machine. All it is just a recording and playback machine. That's it. It records information, stores it up, and then it plays it back to you, whether you want to listen to it or not. But you see, out of past habits of getting so addicted to that thinking and identifying with that mind, thinking that little voice in your head is you, it's a huge mistake. And you're letting a little recording, that voice in your head, boss you around, telling yourself, oh, I'm screwed right now. Everything is just complete chaos, and I have no chance of doing what I want. If you want to listen to it, you could have it that way. Or you can let it go, and you can see a different way. Now, see if you're falling into the trap of trying to figure out how to have it your way. how to get ahead in a world that is as crazy as it is right now. And see if your mind has an answer. Does it have a clue? It doesn't, does it? And when you're trying to figure it out, what you're doing is you're asking that mind again and again and again and again for an answer it doesn't have. And see, how silly is it to look in an empty drawer for something that you're looking for, and you see that the drawer is empty. Okay, it's not in there. But then you go back to that drawer again and again, keep looking in it for something that isn't there because it's empty. Isn't that silly? So, since you see that your mind doesn't have an answer about how to get ahead, how to have abundance right now, let's just set that aside. Let go of wanting to figure it out, at least just for a moment. And let's get to the root of the matter here. See if you're disapproving of yourself. Maybe you're running some poor me story. Oh, I had lots of plans, lots of things I'd like to do, but it's all out the window now. My life sucks right now. Or see if you're beating yourself up because maybe from past decisions, you didn't put yourself in a better situation to deal with what's going on. You're beating yourself up for your life choices. Or you're disapproving of the situation itself, disapproving of others. Now, when you're beating yourself up or you're disapproving of others, does that lead you to a solution? Or does that just keep you thinking about how bad you are, how limited you are, or how problematic everything else is out there? And that's what you keep holding in mind. And no wonder things look bleak. And see, who's doing the disapproving? You are, aren't you? And since you're doing that, that means at least you have control over something here. And you can make a decision. Look, regardless of what's going on, I choose to be positive and loving. Or I can just continue going on and feeling stressed, worried, beating myself up, and being negative. See, that's my choice. Now, what do you choose? Do you choose to be positive or do you choose to be negative? Do you choose love or do you choose negativity? It's up to you. What do you decide? Which would you prefer? And you can always do something about this right now. It starts with a decision. Could you let go of disapproving of yourself? Could you let go of entertaining that poor me story? And could you let go of disapproving of yourself a little bit more? And could you let go of disapproving of yourself a little bit more? And could you let go of disapproving of yourself even more? And even more. And even more. And could you let go of disapproving of yourself even more? And even more. And even more. And even more. And how does that feel? Does that feel a little bit lighter? Again, step by step, you're getting in touch with the real you, that lighter feeling. That's the real you. And see, you did it. You got yourself and touch, and it took no time. Now, see if you're disapproving of the world, whether it's the people in the world or the situations that are going on. And look at what you're holding in mind. What is that picture that you can't seem to escape as long as you're resisting and disapproving of the world? You're only seeing the problem. And that's all that you see, that's all that you get. See, the mind, the way it works, it's very simple. This is why Lester Levenson said, examine your thinking and correct it. And you can correct it right now. Could you let go disapproving of what's going on in the world? And could you let go disapproving of it a little bit more? And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And could you let go disapproving of it a little bit more? And even more. And even more. And could you let go disapproving of it even more? And even more. And even more. And even more. And see if you're disapproving of certain people. Whether they're certain people in politics, certain people in power, or just people that you know in life and the way that they're acting, things that they're saying, things that are bothering you. And are you getting any resolution by disapproving of them? No, you aren't you? All that you're creating is a bad feeling for yourself. Because when you're disapproving even of somebody else, you're loading yourself up with negativity. Because you're the one who has to walk around with that disapproval feeling. Even though it's directed at somebody else, you're the one who has to feel that. And you're doing it. And since you're doing it now, could you let go of disapproving of them, since it doesn't accomplish anything? Now your mind might say, no, you gotta disapprove of them. And it'll give you lots of reasons to feel justified about it. But you gotta examine what's really going on. What are you accomplishing? Nothing. So again, would you rather be positive or would you rather be negative? And when it comes back to you and living the life that you want and finding solutions, which of those decisions would benefit you more? You being positive or you being negative? Of course, you being positive. And it's your choice. So, could you let go of that disapproval? And could you let it go a little bit more? And could you let it go a little bit more? And a little bit more. And could you let it go a little bit more? And even more. And notice how that feels. Does it feel lighter? See, this is showing that you're moving the right direction. And see if it's as true that that person is a problem for you. Or do you feel like maybe you're a little bit bigger now now that you're letting the disapproval go? Notice the difference? See, when you're disapproving of somebody, you're actually making them bigger than you. You're creating a problem. And if there is a problem and you're disapproving of that problem, even though to the mind it says, well, by disapproving of it, I'm not agreeing with it. By fighting against it, I'm not agreeing with it. But that mind's lying to you. You're actually agreeing with it. When you're disapproving of it, when you're going against it, you're validating it. And you're holding that picture in mind. You're supporting it. You're contributing to the collective consciousness of the problem. Now, all the proof that you need is just the fact that you feel lighter. So could you let go of disapproving a little bit more so at least you could feel lighter? You could be more open and more positive. Could you let that disapproval go some more? And some more. And some more. And some more. And how do you feel now? Now, let's step towards love. Let's step towards that realm of positivity. Because that's where we're more effective. And that's where we can really find solutions beyond the limitations of our thinking. Be open to something that's way better than what we can even think of. And it starts with our choice again. Now, first, could you give yourself some approval? Despite everything that's going on, despite the limitations that you seem to have right now. So your choice is you get freaked out and get negative about it, or you can be loving about it. You can decide to be happy now, despite what's going on. Which of those is more empowering? To be positive and loving, right? So could you give yourself a little bit of approval? Even if it seems like things can't go your way, even if it appears that you have actual problems, even are in a state of emergency right now, could you decide to be happy anyway? Now that little voice in your head might say, no. How could you possibly be happy with all this garbage that's going on? And especially how your life is turning around out right now, all these problems that are affecting you, how could you be happy about that? But look, do you want to listen to that mind? Does it have a solution for you? Or does it just have something to complain about? Find out for yourself. See if you can pull yourself out of this mess by giving yourself some love and approval. Loving yourself right now despite what's going on. See, that's a real attitude of strength. Could you give yourself some more approval? And could you give yourself some more approval? And some more. And even more. Could you just love yourself right now? And love the times that you're in right now. Even if it does seem crazy, chaotic, and uncertain. Could you enjoy yourself? Why do you have to be stressed out and miserable about it? Why do you have to be worried? Instead, just love yourself. And could you love yourself a little bit more? And could you love yourself even more? And could you love yourself even more? and even more. Just love yourself right here, right now, just because. And could you love yourself even more? And even more. And even more. And notice how you feel. Doesn't it feel more empowering right now that you're choosing to love? And don't you feel more settled? A little bit more safe and secure? More at peace and content right now? Where now, as long as you're loving yourself, it doesn't matter so much what's going on in the world. You are in control of your happiness and your consciousness. And this is the start of realizing that you're actually in control of everything that you see, everything that you're demonstrating. And by moving in this direction, if you want abundance, if you want control of your life, you could have it. And the answer is love. Now, I'm serious, the answer really is love. Which means you also got to love what's going on in the world. Would you be willing to love all this craziness right now? Now see if you're still holding back. Maybe there's some disapproval coming up. Could you let that go? Could you let go of disapproving of the world right now? Could you let go of wanting to change it? See, everything that you want to change is everything that you're disapproving of. And notice what you're holding in mind. When you're wanting to change something, are you seeing it how it could be, how you would like it to be, or do you just see the problem as it is? And you're wanting to change it. That's what you're holding in mind. And guess what? It's not changing. Maybe because you're supporting it, you're creating what it is that you don't want. So could you let go of disapproving of it? Since there is no solution there, nothing's changing. All you're doing is just getting yourself to feel bad. Could you let go of disapproving of the world some more? And could you let go of disapproving of the world some more? And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And could you let go of disapproving of it a little bit more? And a little bit more. Even if it seems like there's a serious problem that you're in right now, could you let go of disapproving of it? Because disapproving of it isn't going to solve it. And just let that go some more. And some more. And even more. And could you give it some approval? Whatever it is, just love it. And love it some more. Just as it is, without wanting to change a thing about it. Could you love it some more? And love it some more. And love it some more. And even more. And how do you feel now? See if you're as bothered by what's going on in the world. And see if it affects you personally as much as it did a few moments ago. See if it feels more like you could have it your way, despite what's going on out there. And don't ask your mind. Just trust your gut. Notice how you feel about it. Does it feel more possible? Again, that's coming from the real you, the unlimited you. This thinking mind, it's very limited. And it's obvious if you look at it. All it is a recording and playback machine. Those thoughts that you have in your mind, they keep spinning around again and again, dwelling on problems. It's like an endless loop. And it's the same thoughts because you picked them up sometime in the past. Maybe you read something in the news, maybe you heard somebody talk about something, or you saw something on video or on TV, stirred you up. And then your mind's been playing back that information to you again and again and again. That's all the mind does. And there's no solution there. But when you move beyond the mind, then you're starting to access something that has real answers. You see, it's just your intuition, your gut feeling. Now, when it comes to having what you want, despite what's going on in the world, despite the powers and forces that seem to be working against you, that seem to have power over you. And a lot of us feel this way, right? We wouldn't be stressed out, we wouldn't be fighting with each other unless we thought that there was something that was bigger than us out there, that had power over us. If we felt like we were in power, we were in control, we wouldn't be stressed out, we wouldn't be negative at all. Now, the thing that is giving your power away the most is your desire. When it comes to something that is bothering you, whether it's something that's going on in the world, something that is going on specifically in your life, notice you got a wanting there. And the reason why you're bothered is because you're not getting what you want. And because your mind is a creative instrument, and you get exactly what you hold in mind, you can see what you're creating for yourself when you're wanting something. What are you holding in mind with something that you're wanting right now? You're holding in mind you don't have it. It's not yours. It's something separate from you, out there. You don't have it. That want creates that picture of separation and that feeling of lack, right? Notice how it feels to want. It's a very negative, lacking feeling. And who's doing it? Is the world doing that to you? Is the world forcing you to want and be bothered? Or are you doing that? Now maybe part of you is insisting on blaming the world, right? Well, if things were going well out there, then I would have an easier time. Well, don't give your power away to the world. It's yours to have right now. Could you let that wanting go? Could you let it go a little bit more? And could you let it go a little bit more? And a little bit more. See, it's your choice. It's always your choice. And all you have to do is just look at what feels better. Does it feel better to want something? Or does it feel better to have something? And which is easier? Which is less effort and stress? To have something or to want something? Notice the difference. Having is easy, light, and effortless. Just like when you open up, you feel nice and light and effortless. That's having. And wanting, that's something very different. It's very negative. It's like a heavy weight. And it's all about being closed and operating through your mind. Because really what that wanting is about, it's your mind messing with you, saying that you can't be happy as long as you're lacking right now. That your happiness comes from something changing, which is out there, off in the future. And until that happens, you feel limited and lacking. And you got this miserable feeling. Now, who said that that has to be the case? Why can't you be happy now? And why can't you have right now? See, as long as you're wanting, your mind is dwelling on that picture of not having. If you let that go, you just might discover you could have right now. It takes no time to have. Could you let that wanting go? Find out for yourself. Got nothing to lose. Could you let that wanting go a little bit more? And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And again, notice, which feels better, wanting or having? Having's way nicer. And notice you can't do both at the same time. They're opposites. You either want or you have. If you had, you wouldn't want. When you're wanting, you're not having. Could you let go of wanting now so you could have? And could you let go of wanting a little bit more? And a little bit more. And even more. And even more. And how does that feel? Does it feel more like you have? Do you feel easier, more peaceful, more present? That's much better than wanting. And see, when you're wanting, you're a slave to your mind. That mind's just harassing you constantly, getting you all stirred up about you're not getting what you want. Whereas when you just drop the wanting, you're in the present moment. Whereas when you're wanting, you're looking to sometime in the future for that salvation and happiness, which you can't possibly have right now. It can only happen once you get what you want, which leaves you miserable now. But when you let the wanting go, you see there is no reason to be miserable right now. You could just be in this moment. Be nice and peaceful. What's wrong with that? What's there to want now in this moment when your mind gets quiet and you're just present? Isn't that nicer? And in this moment, when you're more quiet and present, is it more possible to have? You notice that possibility? And again, that's something that's coming from beyond your thinking mind, from the realm of all intelligence, from beingness. And if you want your life to move in a positive direction right now, this is where you're going to get a solution, the how-to do that. You see, a lot of wise teachings have pointed this out, like let go and let God, right? Just having an attitude of gratitude. So there's no wanting when you're just being thankful. You're happy for everything that just is right now with no condition. We've seen these teachings. We've resonated with them. But it's up to us to go there ourselves, to learn these lessons, practice them, and see the truth firsthand. So think about a specific goal that you have, something that you would like to do with your life right now. Maybe it's having abundance. Maybe it's just having more control over your life. Going where you want to go, doing what you want to do. And it's only your mind will step in that says, no, you can't. There's all these restrictions right now that say you can't. Well, would you rather just hold on to that, or would you rather find a solution? The solution's inside of you. It's not up here. But see if you're wanting, really wanting this goal of yours. And notice in the wanting, there's no possibility of having. That's the limitation right there. That's the limitation you're creating for yourself. The barrier is your wanting. And you're in complete charge over that. That's the big joke of it. You're in control. So could you let go of that wanting now? And could you let it go a little bit more? And a little bit more. And could you let go of wanting this thing that you're wanting? Would you rather want it or would you rather have it? Notice those are two different things. Can't do both simultaneously. So could you let go of the wanting so you can open up the possibility of having? And could you let go of wanting some more? And could you let go of wanting it some more? And some more. And some more. And could you let go of wanting it some more? And some more. And even more. And even more. And how does that feel? Lighter, right? And does it feel more like you have now? And does it feel more specifically possible to have this goal of yours? You see, when you let the wanting go, not only do you open up to your beingness, you feel lighter, you feel better, but your picture changes. You see, you can't think yourself out of problems, but you could pull out the root that's creating the problems, and that changes your thinking. It changes your picture instantly. And because now you're seeing more of a positive picture, the mind being creative, you're going to see your life change in a more positive way. And you're going to see how to have that goal of yours directly. Now, something that Lester pointed out, talking about these wise teachings, letting go, letting God. You see, when you talk about God, and I'm not talking about, the biblical God, some person that has authority that's up there in the clouds. God is just beingness. It's the totality of this universe. And all you have to do to see this God, this incredible power and force, is just look around you. You see how beautiful nature is, how everything is flowing in abundance and harmony. And you see the expanse of it all, out into the universe, all the stars out there. It just goes on forever. There's no limit to it. And all of this works together in this thing that we call beingness, existenceness, that we are a part of, which means that we are part of God. We are part of this incredible force of nature, this presence that is manifesting such beauty around us. We're in it. We are it. And all we have to do now is surrender to it. Now, when we're talking about surrender, you see, it's the opposite of going to our mind. That mind is a very limited thing that gets stressed out, that sees nothing but problems, that is into negativity, into judgment, and disapproving of others and disapproving of ourselves. Then surrender is the opposite of all that negativity. It happens when we set our mind aside. We just get in sync with now, the present moment. We're part of the flow. Not only does it feel good, but this is a greater power that we're tapping into, and we can co-create with this. We could hold in mind our goal, and instead of relying on our mind to manifest the goal, we can rely on beingness, this greater expansion of what we're a part of existenceness, presence, now. And this isn't some far out concept. It's a thing that is incredibly scientific. See, it's the truth that we cannot deny. We can argue and deny lots of things, but one thing that we cannot deny is that we are. We're here. We're aware right now. If we just focus on that, just awareness, presence, now, beingness. We have access to the most creative force in the universe. We're a part of it. And we could use our mind correctly as a creative instrument, not jammed up with negativity, but now open, part of the flow. And we can manifest great things just by tuning our mind with this force of positivity, with beingness. So take a look at what it is that you'd really like to accomplish. Could be anything from your own personal abundance, nothing wrong with that. Or it could be world harmony, having people get along. Just for a moment now, get a picture of what it is that you'd really like. And don't put any energy into the obstacles, into the problems. Just focus on what it is that you'd like. Instead of trying to figure out a way to get it, or efforting to get it, could you just turn over to beingness? With an attitude of imperturbability. It really doesn't matter one way or the other, whether you get it or not. You see, if it matters to you, then if things don't go your way, you're negative. You're setting yourself up for that failure. But imperturbability is being positive no matter what. Nothing wrong with that. So with that attitude of imperturbability and desirelessness, not wanting anything right now in this moment, which you see is easy when you get nice and quiet and present, nothing's needed now. Perfectly natural not to want anything. You just feel content being. And with this attitude now, can you just hand your goal, hand this thing over that you'd like to see manifest over to beingness, over to this quiet space of now. Could you surrender your goal over to beingness some more? And some more. And some more. And some more. And could you surrender your goal over to beingness even more? To now. And if you get it, that's great. And if it doesn't happen, that's great too. Could you just defer to beingness? And could you surrender your goal over to beingness even more? And even more. And even more. And how do you feel now? Does it feel more possible? And does it feel good just handing this over to beingness? It takes all the weight and stress off of you, doesn't it? And when you're surrendering to beingness and you're surrendering your goal to beingness, what you're doing is you're identifying with beingness. And that always feels good. And notice if it's more possible to have this goal now. Notice the difference? Now this is showing you that you're moving the right direction. And anything that's stopping you from having exactly what you want, no matter how big it is, no matter how outlandish it is, it's just your want for it. And you can prove it out. And it takes no time to experience this, but you gotta dig deep and let go of all of your want for this. And see, from this place, you're feeling lighter and clear, more present. It's easier to really spot how that mind works, what's going on with it. When you're wanting that goal or you're wanting to change things in the world, it's obvious now that that mind, it's a very limited instrument. It's only seeing the problem. And nothing is changing because of that. And the only thing that you get is a very negative, soul-sucking, lacking feeling. Whereas when you let it go and you identify with beingness, you feel great, expansive, and unlimited. So which do you prefer? And when it comes to having your goal, which do you prefer? Would you prefer to want it or would you prefer to have it? So you got to dig deep. You even got to dig deep into your unconscious thoughts and feelings. The ones that you've buried or that you've become so used to you don't even pay attention to anymore. But they're still there. If there's still a separation between you and having your goal, if you can't just think and have it happen right now, it's because you got negativity, wanting in the way. And it's up to you. You see, you lifted yourself up so far already by letting go of wanting. So you got to dig down and pull it all out to prove just how unlimited you are. To demonstrate everything that Lester talked about. That you could have everything for the mere thought of it. If you let all of your wanting go. So see if you could pull up some more of your wanting. Be honest with yourself. And remember that wanting is all about an idea that this goal is going to make you happy. It's going to bring solutions to you. It's going to make you feel safer, more in control, more satisfied, and more like, well, you can love yourself finally once you have everything. You can't love yourself with all of these problems. And see, that's just your mind. So you got some more wanting there? More looking for happiness in the world? Well, could you let that go? And could you let that go some more? Right now. Yes or no? Could you let that wanting go? And could you let it go some more? And some more. And some more. And even more. How do you feel now? Do you feel bigger, stronger? You see, every time you make a smart decision to move out of the negativity into beingness, you're getting bigger than the problems in the world. And when you're bigger than them, you see, you don't need to fight with anything. You don't need to disapprove of anything. You could have it your way without any struggle or effort at all. Just by being you. You're starting to experience that you're the totality of the whole universe. And all this creative power that you could witness around you, you can channel through you because you're it. So could you let go a little bit more wanting? And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And you'll see, for every bit of wanting you let go of, you feel more like you have. You get bigger than the world, you get bigger than your mind, and you're just happy. And you're in the place of all possibilities. So keep looking for that wanting. Keep dropping it. And you're going to realize every single thing that Lester talked about and all the great masters. You're just as great as they are. As long as you look at it. Get out of your mind. Get out of that ridiculousness of want and see what you have now.